The Bone Chill event is finally out, and Behavior was not satisfied with the buffs they added to the HoundMaster as we got even more and even juicier than before. Let's take a look at them, including the new map finally out from the PTB. First of all, the chase command cooldown has been reduced even further, with it now being only 3 seconds instead of 4, and let me remind you that it was 5, which is great, as the HoundMaster's cooldown was not as consistent and sometimes it took a long time for Snug to come back to you. The craziest part is that now you get the dog even faster after you hit a survivor with chase, so that means the potential to double tap is very high. They also added a very small nerf to the acceleration the HoundMaster has when cancelling her commands to 1 second in both cases. However, they reduced the movement speed penalty down to 3 meters per second instead of 2, and in game, this feels significantly smoother. Don't get me wrong, it still feels bad, but it's not a sudden stop like it was before, and it definitely feels way better. However, by far the biggest buffs from this section are related to the dog itself. First of all, they slightly increased the hitbox of the dog to 0.65 meters instead of half a meter, which in this game, size does matter, and every inch counts. The buff that I noticed the most is the second one, where they reduced the speed at which Snug vaults pallets and windows to 0.45 seconds instead of 0.9, and this feels significantly faster, to the point where I feel like now you can actually confirm health states and get grabs way easier than before. This was very noticeable in game, making it harder for survivors to dodge the attack, and overall, I think from this patch, this is the thing that players will notice the most. Additionally, they reduced the camera transitions for when you control the dog, as well as when you return back to it, to 0.15 seconds instead of 0.25, which is once again a good change to make her feel smoother while playing. Another very important change is that now Snug will bring the survivors to the point where he beat the survivors instead of the location where the chase command started. This is once again a huge change that will make it so that Snug no longer helps the survivors escape from the HoundMaster, as have been cases in the past. And I would say this is yet another very huge change that is going to benefit this killer a lot. Finally, they increased the hindered penalty that affected survivors get while they are grabbed by the dog to 10%, before it was 3% only, so it's going to be easier for the killer to come to you and get a hit. These are not the only changes to the HoundMaster coming this patch, as the actual final change unrelated to her power is a nerf to the Knotted Rope add-on, reducing the basic attack cooldown of grabbed survivors down to only 2%. This is the same add-on that was 40% during the PTB, so to only have it at 2% now is actually hilarious. Personally, this add-on is now C tier at best. However, the devs have said that this add-on was apparently broken when combined with certain perks and add-ons, and they plan to revisit it on an update on 2025, so this nerf is only temporal to prevent any abuse during the holidays. I assume the problem was that you could use this add-on in the exit gates to prevent a survivor from escaping, since the cooldown of the basic attack was faster than the time it takes for the spikes of the exit gates to be removed. Overall, these changes make the HoundMaster feel significantly better than before, and are enough to bump her a bit in the strength tier list. I feel like currently she is at her best even with the nerfed add-ons, so I will be tasting and playing her more to find out where I would put her on my killer tier list. Thrill of the Hunt got a small nerf to its power, down to 12% per totem from 14%, and this is still more than how it was before with 10%. So overall, even if this is indeed a nerf of 10% total, this perk is still a menace, so I don't think that it's dead. In fact, I would say that this perk is still very strong and should work the same with the builds you used before. It's just that in extreme cases, like the Oddsdarva example with Singularity, this perk should not be as strong. In terms of bug fixes, the two biggest ones I could find is the one for the nurse bug, which allowed players to cancel their blinks with 0 cooldown, which was honestly absolutely disgusting, and I am glad that it's gone. And if this is true, this is a massive win for killers. Fixed, silent flashbangs, which will hopefully finally allow us to counter them when good survivors throw them behind cover. Flashbangs were previously banned on competitive due to this bug. Overall, I am very happy with the HoundMaster changes, but I am still a bit sad that they left the Chucky nerfs live for the holidays. For survivors, I guess it's great, but Chucky has been very unfun to play with lately as he feels terrible. It's also sad that no fixes for Spirit or Night were added in this patch, as I would say now that the HoundMaster got compensated a lot, these two killers take the crown of being the buggiest ones in Dead by Daylight if you ignore twins like the majority of the player base does. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching and have a nice day.